welcome back. Today, on day 3, you are going to discover what to do as you sit down in the sacred space that you created. So on day 1, you set an intention for what you wanted to get out of the 21 days that we're spending together. On day 2, you created a sacred space, someplace where you're actually going to make all this happen. And now on day 3, let's go ahead and get you started on doing some really amazing things as you're sitting there in your meditation space. So if you're new to meditation, then you might wonder, what do you do when you're just sitting there? You may feel like you're just kind of zoning out. Well, as you begin to explore meditation more, you realize that meditation is anything but zoning out. Meditation is so incredibly dynamic that you're so busy and engaged while you're meditating that the time just flies by. But I'd like you to start meditating for just 5 to 15 minutes if you're new to it. If you already meditate, go ahead and meditate and meditate and meditate for as long as you want. I wanted to share with you a little bit about what my sacred space looks like in case you're kind of curious. I mentioned to you that I have several sacred spaces that I have in my home, and this sacred space is in a guest room, and I really like to keep where I meditate really simple because I'm easily distracted. I have shiny object syndrome. So when I see a picture of someone, I start to, think about that person, and I get, all involved right away. So I don't have photos of people who inspire me or family members because for me, I really become distracted by that. But I have to say that most people I know, I've seen a lot of meditation spots, most people do have loved ones, family members, or very inspirational people, even religious objects where they meditate. So use whatever you want. This space should be you. When you walk by the space that you create, your sacred space, you should feel like, oh, I just want to sit down there just for a few minutes and meditate. That's why you take the time to create a space that reflects you. Now this is a little bit of feng shui as well. So when your spaces connect you, you feel like you're one with your space. So make sure that you have a space that truly represents you. Don't feel like you just have to put a bunch of stuff in there. Oh, I'm going to do a meditation space. I need flowers. I need this or I need that. Really carefully consider everything that you select and put in your meditation space. I always use a candle because for me, candlelight is calm and quieting. And because I have a little bit of trouble focusing my mind, maybe you can relate to this. I know that it's kind of like a modern day epidemic, our short attention spans. In fact, it's one of the reasons why people give up their meditation rituals, because they feel like they just can't stop making lists in their mind or stop their mind from running away when they're meditating. Well, I'm going to show you throughout this course ways to stop that. And believe me, if it works for me, I know it's going to work for you. But when I light a candle, and I have a pretty big candle with a pretty big flame because it really helps me to focus. I just zero in on the candlelight. I live in Florida, so I go to the beach a lot, and I have some special shells that my sons selected for me. So these are meaningful to me. So this is it. This is what I have. Sometimes I'll bring in a flower from nature. If it's going to be a special meditation, like on the weekends, try to make your meditation a little bit longer and a little bit more of a treat. I'm going to share with you ways to do that. I'm really excited to share that with you because it just gives you something to look forward to on the weekend. Even if your weekends are crazy, you know, oh, well, I'm going to do that meditation thing, and so I'm going to, put something a little extra into it. It really makes a difference. It gets you excited about meditating. So I wanted to share that with you because your sacred space is really important, and create mini sacred spaces. I'm going to reveal to you also, as I promised, my very unglamorous, probably my number one place that I meditate. And that is, I meditate almost daily in my car. And the reason why is because this may really surprise you, but maybe not. So I have 2 children, and my husband's gone a lot, and so I transport them all over the place. They're very active, involved in lots of activities. If you have children, I'm sure you can relate. If you don't, I'm sure you can still relate to this. Well, because you probably have other things you go to where you have to wait sometimes. I think we spend a lot of our lives waiting. So I was having trouble, really struggling with my meditation ritual this was about 8 years ago. And I just didn't think it was going to work. But I kept hanging in there. I wasn't very consistent, but I would, I'd still do it a few times a week. And that's how sometimes it starts for people. And I realized that I just felt like I didn't have enough time because, I was always on the road doing this or that. And at night I was exhausted. I would just fall asleep in the meditation area I created in my bedroom. And so I really thought about it because I really wanted to make this work, and I realized that why don't I just meditate in the car? I'm usually waiting about 20 minutes sometimes, sometimes not that long. So what I did is I actually built in time when I would drive to places to drop my children off or go to an appointment. I would build in 15 minutes of meditation time, and believe it or not, I have some really great meditations in my car. Even though there's traffic going by, I try to go somewhere where it's not, really distracting. But sometimes, and nobody can see me, my windows are tinted. I live in Florida, it's hot, so most of the vehicle windows are tinted. And I just, I meditate, and I have some great meditations. Sometimes I'll play music, but I feel really relaxed for some reason. I think it's because sometimes when I think I'm going to meditate before I go to bed at night, and when I wake up in the morning, those times for me are so rushed that I feel pressure, like, oh, I'm not going to get it done. And then it kind of spoils it for me. But when I'm in my day, the busy part of my day, and I just build it in, I feel really great. And then I often even meditate 2 or 3 times a day, because I'll think, well, I got a meditation in my car, and tonight before I go to bed, I'm going to sit down and meditate. So really, there are ways to make this work for you. That is why I created your meditation journal to be exactly the way it is, so that you can take note and start to pay attention to where your energy is going throughout the day. What's taking it away? What's giving you energy? Meditating in my car gave me energy. I felt great. I needed those times. I still need those times right smack in the middle of my days as a pick-me-up. I really need that. For me, sometimes if I go without meditating during the day, when I sit down at night, I feel so frazzled, or just, I need a little bit more. So I'm just sharing this with you because make this work for your life. You are unique. Everyone has their own way of doing every single thing that you do in your life. Make this work for you, but make it work, because the benefits are so incredible, and you start to notice them after just 2 weeks. If you consistently do this 5 to 15 minutes a day, after 2 weeks you start to notice that you respond differently to stress. So anyways, here we go. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to show you now what to do when you're sitting down in your beautiful sacred space that you created. Remember, it could even be your car, as I shared with you. It doesn't have to be your special sacred space. Sometimes I push back from my desk in my office and I just sit down and meditate. You'll get really good at it. So But what you do when you sit down to meditate, the first thing that you need to do is get really comfortable. So if you're not comfortable, if your body has aches and pains and your legs are falling asleep because of all the pressure from sitting down and your back kind of hurts and your neck is starting to hurt, then you need to get comfortable, because your mind cannot relax, or your mind has a hard time focusing and relaxing if your body is uncomfortable. So you often may see me with pillows. That's because I use these pillows. I don't just have them here for a decoration. I use them when I meditate. And prop a pillow. If you sit down on the ground like I am when I meditate, then you'll need a pillow under each knee. If you sit in a chair, which is perfect. In fact, most people that I work with these days prefer to sit down in a chair or on the end of their bed when they meditate. In that case, still, put a pillow. I usually use 3 pillows. Put one under your hips, because this rolls your hips forward and it just takes the pressure off your back. So just go ahead and put a pillow under your hips. Right away, I feel the pressure just completely come off my back and my legs. And then put a pillow under each knee, and then you'll be all set. If you're sitting on the ground, for me, there's just something about sitting on the ground when I meditate. I feel really connected to the earth. I know that, I'm sitting and this is the foundation of our floor, and our house, but I still feel this energy shift when I sit down. But I do meditate in a chair as well. But there is something about meditating on the ground, so I encourage you to try it. But the most important thing is just to get comfortable. And then when you get comfortable, I want you just to sit still. And I say that as just sit still, like it's easy. But if you're new to meditation, it's not easy. In fact, you may not know what it feels like to experience stillness. And if you don't, believe me, you are not alone. It took me a while to really experience what stillness felt like in my body. So I want you to have a beautiful meditation ritual by the end of this program. So I'm going to be sharing just little bits and pieces with you every day, as well as the herbal teas and the feng shui, because these things all go together. It's not like you meditate and then the rest of your life, everything falls into place. No, you need meditation to support you when you interiorize. Those are your resources that you pull from. But when you have an environment that reflects who you are and supports you, it just really takes the effectiveness of meditation up several notches. And when you use and consume herbal teas that nourish you and support your mind, body, and soul, you have an amazing ritual that will last a lifetime, because you'll love coming to it. You'll begin to crave it. So, when you first start off, that's what today is about, just experience what it feels like to be still. And you often do this by noticing your breath. So you want to sit with your back straight. Your spine is your lifeline, as we say in meditation. Straighten your spine. It automatically gives you an energy shift when you straighten your spine. If your energy goes down when you're slumped, as soon as you sit up, and you don't want to exaggerate sitting up. You don't want your back arched or your chest pushed out too far. You want to sit up straight to where your spine is straight. And you can place your hands on your knees, up or down. It doesn't matter, whatever feels most comfortable. Or you can slide them back and put them in the crook of your hips here, where your hip and your legs meet. However it works best for you is what you should do. I like variety, so I do lots of different things. But I think my favorite way is just to meditate with them on my legs, because my hands have a tendency to get a little bit tired if I have them closer towards my body. So do what feels best for you. And then when you're sitting down, start to notice your breath. So you've got comfortable, you're sitting up straight, you're relaxing your shoulders, your stomach, your face, especially your jaw. These are all areas where you have a tendency to hold your tension. When you meditate, you're constantly checking in with yourself. So check in with your areas where you receive a lot of stress, where you hold a lot of your stress and tension. So just go ahead and do that. And then I want you to start to notice your breath. You can close your eyes, or you can kind of keep your eyes open, but don't look around too much. And I give you a lot of options today. We're going to learn a lot more about how you can use meditation. But for you just starting out, this is enough. It's just to feel the stillness in your body. And if you already have a meditation ritual, then do it. Just take extra care in how you set up your space and where you meditate. And push away right now from this video and meditate. And make sure you write down in your meditation journal. Keep your intention in your mind. I want to show you one more thing though if you're new to meditation, because I've worked with a lot of different people when they first learn to meditate, and what I have found, especially if you live in a lot of westernized countries, such as anywhere in North America or Europe, even Australia, New Zealand, places where the pace of life is a little more hectic and where people are not used to feeling stillness or silence, then I want to show you one way for you to start off meditating, because I really want this to work for you. And if you do this technique that I'm going to share with you when you first start meditating, it could make all the difference for you, because until you have a feeling of stillness and peace and just this joy that comes from your depths, that only happens in meditation, this certain feeling, I don't want you to miss out on that or feel like, it's just beyond your reach, because you can have it. You can have it right now, and I'm going to show you a way for you to feel still. If this sitting up, on where you feel like you're in the lotus position, propped up with pillows, or even in a chair, if that just feels like, you're just not ready for that yet, you want to ease into it a little bit more, I'm going to give you this option. This works for a lot of people. Before you go to bed at night, or any time throughout your day, just lie down. Lie down in what is known as the Savasana position in yoga. And I'm going to just show you. Prop your legs with pillows under your knees. It always just helps to give your back a little extra support. So just go ahead and do that. And you can put a pillow under your head, or you could just lie down flat. And just lie down. I'm going to lie down here, so you'll see me go down and disappear for a minute. And just feel the stillness in your body. Just lie down for about 5 minutes or longer. And just notice your breath. Keep your eyes open or closed. I recommend that you close your eyes, because when they're open, all your senses are engaged. And when you close them, you start to notice that you become more interiorized, more drawn into yourself, which is what you want when you meditate. So go ahead and lie down. So here I am, lying down. Now, you don't want to fall asleep, and that's the trouble with lying down. So in meditation, you never lie down, except for if you're new to this and you just feel like it's not really working for you, that you just, can't really feel comfortable. You can even lie down in your bed and just do the breath techniques. I'll be sharing all these different techniques with you very soon. But the first thing I want you to notice is just to notice your breath. So go ahead and do that tonight. You could try this. Even, you know what I do? When I wake up every single morning, I find that once I'm up, if I sit down and meditate, I meditate after my children have gone to school, and before I start my day working, I sit down and meditate outside, because I'll explain all this later, but meditating outside is a wonderful way to meditate. And I do live in Florida where the climate is mild, so I can pretty much meditate outside year round. But what I do in the morning when I wake up, I'm just giving you lots of different options because I really want this to work for you. And if I were teaching you in a course or class or a weekend retreat, this is what I would share with you, so I don't want you to miss out. I lie down in bed for just maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and I just start to notice my breath, and I ease into my day. And my greatest inspirations and thoughts, it never did this. I never had these inspirations until I started meditating. And I know it's because I've, my brain has really adapted to meditation and is open and more receptive. But the best inspirations come to me as soon as I wake up in the morning. That silence where I'm lying down and I'm meditating, actually lying down, where I'm doing, some meditation techniques, and I have the best inspirations. So try this. Maybe you will find the same thing for yourself, or you may find that this happens to you when you do other things throughout your day. But I want to share that with you, because if you have a little bit of trouble just getting into sitting down, meditating, and it seems strange to you, these are some very doable options for you. Okay, so now you know what to do. You have your intention, your sacred space. You know what to do. You know a few things to do, how to get started meditating. That is just the tip of the iceberg, because I'm going to share with you so many more things. But this will get you started. Go ahead and do it. Sometimes the simplest things take the most explanation. And so I've really taken some time to explain this. If you have any questions at any time, as always, email me at mary@sipandom.com. And remember, you are so worth slowing down for.